about the heaps of money you definitely have. You mention how incredibly loaded you are and how core to your sense of values it is to pay well for good work.
That's what we call good business. Now, get up out of that prickle frond and let's get you presentable.
He watches you flail a few times before he sighs, unbuttons his sleeves, and rolls them up to his elbows. Each fold is crisp and even. It takes a while, but you are good at being patient.
There's a 12% cost increase for instances of manual labor. It'll all be explained in your bill. It's itemized. I'm sure an alien of means such as yourself will be able to handle it.
You take his hand and he pulls you up and out of the bush. It's kind of a rough job. He's not as strong as he looks, you guess. He glares at you like he is daring you to say shit about it, and you are a quick learner. He cuts you off mid-thank you.
My office isn't far from here. We can go there to get things started. And by things, I absolutely mean get you clean and sign a lot of vaguely worded yet stringently binding documents.
He walks with a purpose. You shake off the flora stuck in your various body parts and do your best to catch up. From the outside, his office basically just seems like his hive. You've learned a thing or two during the shitstorm of a cultural exchange, though. You gotta play it cool when a potential friend invites you home. You never know what cages or monsters or methods of evisceration they might have lying around, and you want to prepare a nice, chill look on your face for whatever carnage you're about to be confronted by. It doesn't work. Your face falls to bewildered hell when you walk inside because it's all chrome and glass and broad white walls in there. It's like he bought the fanciest looking crate and barrel display home he could find, down to the last useless minimalist accessory, and then never sat down in it. His Lussus, a ferret, is chilling on an enormous silver thing that's halfway between a throne and a play tower. Everything is clean and bright and at perfect right angles, and you don't see any weapons anywhere. It's fucking creepy. You ask him if he just moved in, because polite conversation seems like maybe the best thing you can do. In the absence of something specific to focus your fear on, you're just sort of a little afraid of everything.
You're not paying me to learn my life story, unless you'd like to. In that case, no. I've lived here for most of my life. I'll go ahead and add that to your bill.
You stare at one of the chairs. Should you sit in it?
By all means, do not make yourself at home. Head straight to my evolution trap while I prepare our contract.
You really want to connect with this guy, and you like how you just vibed there, where you were thinking about sitting your bedraggled ass in his fancy chair and he could totally tell you were thinking it, but you don't want to be friends badly enough to walk straight into something that has the word trap right there in its name without at least pondering it for a second. You've become savvier during all this. No entrapment, please. You tell him you would rather stay away from any and all traps if that's all right. You mention that you think that's the better move for both of you. Something tells you that this guy wants to know what's in it for him. Probably all the times he's said explicitly that. You do have that vibe going, after all. He taps a claw on his chin and looks you up and down. He takes his time. You try not to blush, no matter how exacting his gaze is.
You present a solid case. Your whole look is more than a bit repellent, but it may make that pitiable lost alien angle more emotionally effective if you still look like you just got ran over. Frown.
It takes you a second to realize he didn't just say his physical emotive response instead of doing it with his face. He's giving you a direction. You stick your lower lip out and try to look as pathetic as possible.
Yes, this is really working for me. It's awful. Completely repugnant. Your general squalor should function as a simple manipulation tactic, no matter which direction I decide to spin it.
The praise makes it hard to keep frowning, but you do your best to keep it up. You even hunch over a bit and shamble a few meager steps toward him.
Great, yes. That's enough. No need to come any closer. Okay then, we'll skip the hygiene and get straight to the best part, bureaucracy. Stay right there and don't get any of your crusty alien orifices near my decor. I'll go print out our contract and we can move on.
You pretend you're a statue while he types things, then prints the typed things, then staples the printed things. His ferret Lussus stares at you with beady interest. You stare back, completely motionless. You wonder how often Gorgora has friends over. He brings the packet over to you and hands you a pen.
Read this, or don't. Sign it either way. It's a standard legislacerator agreement, tweaked a bit to accommodate your particular situation. You know, you agree to submit your testimony to be judged, and you will accept whatever subjugulation you receive. You recognize that any potential winnings are to be remitted to me for processing through a local account before your portion can be dispensed to you. In the event of your culling, I'll act as executor of your accounts, blah blah, same old business. I'm sure it's the same where you're from. There are stars at each place you are to initiate.
That sure was a lot of stuff that you just got told real fast. You were trying to listen, really, but he winked at you early on in his monologue, and it was really distracting because you couldn't stop thinking about if you could incorporate a wink into a secret handshake. Maybe. Anyway, regular legal jargon, yeah, just like all the times you click to say you read the terms and conditions on any old harmless social media app. That stuff never ends up being relevant. You show off your exquisitely polished John Hancock as many times as it takes.
Excellent, excellent. Everything's in order then. Are you ready to head out?
Oh, like now? Now? You're not ready. Do you look roughed up enough? Will your bones need to go through any more ordeals? What's a subjugulator? Does Tagora...
No sweep like the one you're fucking in, as they say. Pardon the language, it's an idiom. It means it's time to fucking go.
You follow him out about as apprehensively as you followed him in. As you retrace the path you took not too long ago, it occurs to you to wonder where this glorious feat of justice is going to take place, and, like, if anyone is going to subpoena the asshole that hit you. Is that even a thing here? You skip up to match Tagora's pace and ask.
There's no real need for you to worry about that. It's for me to deal with. I saw the perpetrator, of course. If it seems prudent to pin the crime on them when the time comes, I will have more than enough credible evidence to condemn them. Their blood cash should be sufficient, but if it seems worth it to call in their dented scuttlebuggy, I can certainly do that as well. Of course, that's not the only way we can spin this. It may not be necessary to involve them at all. Don't bother worrying about that, either.
You definitely still worry about that, but you nod and keep walking like you're not bothered. You want to match his level of easy confidence. It's almost comforting to be around it, now that you've spent some time with him. It's simple. You're still basking in the ease of being told what to do when the whole vibe flips over on its ass so fast you feel it like ice down your back. You look at Tagora first. He stopped walking and his posture somehow gets straighter. Even his cute little ponytail thing looks more alert. He's staring at the approach of another troll, a blue guy. You know that means high blood, but not much else about what that entails, aside from what you're picking up from the full hair-on-end cat reaction from old Gorgor next to you.
Pleasant evening, sir.
His voice gets somehow sweeter and more professional at the same time. You recognize what he's feeling because you felt it in yourself the whole time you've been on this godforsaken planet. A deep, all-consuming thirst for approval. He's gunning hard for business boy friendship. The high blood, however, is not. At first you think he might be chill because his smile gets huge, and hell if you don't love getting smiled upon. You start to introduce yourself until Tagora shoots you a be cool look. It's then that you learn that this guy's smile is not the nice kind. What's this? He asks. Gorgor picked up a little friend.
It's not... We have a working relationship.
You try not to let his dismissal of your friendship sting. You're not there yet. It's okay. You want to be helpful, so you put on your best injured face and start hobbling in a circle, twisting your neck at the most grotesque angle you can manage without actually hurting yourself. You groan pitifully about all your bones. Oh, right! They're booming drone pursuing business. This, client you have here looks extra shitty. Good luck getting anything for whatever this mutant is that you scraped up from the grizzle grate.
If you take a moment to consider the potential...
The blue guy rolls his eyes and keeps walking, elbowing his way right between the two of you on his way past, like you're nothing. Tagora freezes. His eyes stay fixed ahead of him, where the blue guy was just standing. It's like he hasn't processed the movement yet, even though he gets knocked back a few steps in his wake. He starts shaking. Yikes! That was, tense. You want to say something reassuring to Tagora, but he has kind of ascended into another plane of existence. Maybe a nice reassuring pat on the shoulder will help diffuse the mood. You put a ginger hand in the mere vicinity of his body and he whirls to face you, eyes narrowed and breathing heavy. You snatch your hand back fast. Mistake!
You... Do you have any idea how rare that networking opportunity was? Do you realize what you... No, of course you don't. You don't know anything. You're just a weird little hornless thing who doesn't even know how to cross the fucking street.
He starts laughing all high-pitched and weird. Up until now, he seemed so slick, so unflappable. That Gorgor is hard to reconcile with the one pacing back and forth, hollering and grabbing at his face. He's pretty goddamn flapped. Oh boy, you really screwed up, huh? Maybe your busted neck routine was not convincing enough? Or too convincing? Either way, you figure now might be the time to bow out before this scene really blows up. You tell him so. Your neck is fine. Look, you headbang a bit to prove it.
No. A deal is a deal is a deal.
He breathes in slowly through his nose.
Alright, Gorgor, remember your mantra.
He closes his eyes. After an awkward minute of watching him whisper something unintelligible to himself, he opens them and immediately starts up that bonkers pace again, so you skedaddle to catch up. He keeps talking, though by now he's just talking to himself, with you as an eavesdropping barnacle with really slow legs. Little manic giggles bubble out in between his sentences.
We're headed towards justice, alright? Keep walking. We're seeing this through. I've got a bottom line to uphold.
Okay, not bad. Maybe things are still cool between you. Maybe this lawyer-client relationship still has a chance to blossom into something more? You venture a friendly type topic and ask him about his mantra. He stops walking and looks at you like you shat on his Lysis' grave.
You don't just ask someone what their mantra is.
Maybe not so cool. He shivers, spooked, and turns his stanky stare from you to the path you're on. After a moment, he smooths back all the hairs he shook out of place during his freakout, pivots, and turns down a side street.
Anyway, as I was about to say, there are many ways to fulfill the terms of our contract. I was hoping this would lead to a more stimulating evening. I was prepared to get into it with you, for you. But it's become clear that this partnership is no longer worth the work. Especially now that I will have to consider the significant career setback I just experienced at your feckless hand. So instead of wasting any more of my time or yours, let's take a shortcut to the same end result, sparing us both the agony of enduring a long court battle in the proximity of one another. Here's your verdict. You're guilty.
Guilty? Wait, wasn't it supposed to be the other guys on trial? You look around, panic rising in your chest.
Oh, don't tell me. You don't know how the legal system works either. Unsurprising and uninteresting.
Oh, this is bad. You've been so caught up in watching him talk that you didn't notice him guiding you straight to the shittier part of town. You know, the part that's all half-demolished hives and creepy noises and drones flying around? Drones like the one that turns to notice you and Tagora whistles, snaps his fingers, and points right at your head?
Hey, big guy. Over here. One extremely malformed and unviable troll. Just the way you like it.
You shouldn't feel surprised at this betrayal, maybe, but you do. For a second anyway. Then you focus on yelling and scanning for possible debris to hide under. Tagora starts backing away as the drone gets closer.
There's a sewer the next street over. You probably won't make it. But if you do, check your pocket.